Hi, this is Jackie Neyman Jones, and this is Jackie's Hand of Horror. Today, on our show, we have Tanya Atomic, my co-host.
Hello.
And my other co-host here, Rachel Jackson.
Hi.
And today's show, we're being a little squeamish here and talking about spiders. Today's review is ice spiders for our movie trailer. It was 2007 and very interesting. Ice and spiders. Not something I would normally put together.
Oh, you need to sing them to the official song now. Ice spiders, check them and see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Did you just come up with that? That's good.
Yes, I just
All right.
did just now. I don't know why. Well, here's a question this trailer raises for me. How many secret government labs are there? Like, really? Lots? Just like every town has a secret government lab under it or like above it, basically. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they are. And this one was actually above ground. So how secret can you be? I don't know. I know nothing about secret government labs.
Of course you don't. None of us know anything about secret government labs.
Apparently they're all over, though, and doing crazy experiments and creating new breeds of toxic animals.
You would think some of them would email each other and be like, oh yeah, hey, like our giant spiders got out and that really sucked.
Yeah.
So, like, you know that giant bee experiment you were doing? Nix that.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, I would just say send some over and maybe they can cancel each other out. Or, I don't know.
No, that's fun. I'd watch Bee versus Spider.
Would you? Yeah.
Bee versus Ice Spider. Maybe that's the sequel.
But I thought that was interesting. Olympic hopefuls, out skiing and such, and so they're the ones battling the spiders. And if Olympic hopefuls can't defeat giant ice spiders, then
who can?
I mean,
doomed.
we don't know. I mean, since we haven't seen the movie, maybe the Olympic hopefuls do defeat the ice spiders.
I don't know. We'll see. Wasn't looking good, but I'd watch it. I'm curious.
I have to say I'm not. Like, unless it turned into sort of an 80s ski battle, like to a sports training montage, and I could see spiders skiing, I'm just not interested in this movie. I'm sorry to say. The trailer was fun, though.
I feel like once they brought in the Olympic hopefuls, they had me. I'm there. But I don't feel like, from the trailer, I don't feel like it's going to be good. Like, I don't get that this is going to be particularly good film.
It felt like a Sci-Fi Channel movie to me, pretty hardcore. And those are usually not very good.
Well, I had to change my mind, then I can't see this.
we didn't mean to talk you out of it.
No, that's fine.
Based on the trailer,
I thought about it more.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's interesting things in it that I haven't seen. I mean, obviously they're trying to do that, but there's things in it that I haven't seen before, like spiders in the ice.
Right. They don't appear to be made of ice, which is kind of what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
They're more like snow spiders, to be
they are
really
more
honest.
like snow spider. Yeah, it should have been snow
But they
spider.
didn't even have fur. That doesn't make sense. Right?
They could have gone in so many other directions.
We would have had to have been more tarantula-like. Yeah. I'm not sold. Yeah, I'm done. I'm not watching it.
I'd still see it.
Really? Oh, now you'll see it.
No,
you would have seen it. Okay.
You can see it. Okay. She's going to see it because of the Olympic hopefuls.
If
the
I
fact
saw
that they're battling ice spiders.
Oh, yeah, that's true. If I did, it would be at home because then I could take breaks or switch to something else.
That's true. Maybe if there's something
I would not go to
do at the
theater
same time.
To see it.
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
Now, this is something we haven't visited before. Would this be a movie to see high or not high?
High.
You'd have to be.
Okay. There you go. See, that's
yeah.
But
like if you skiing off a spider, I want to see that.
Oh yeah. Well, all right.
I want to see someone ski off a spider.
There you go.
Well,
a giant one.
You can let us know if you see this, if you like it. But don't blame us if you don't. Today's movie review for Spiders is Tarantula, a 1955 film in black and white. And I'm pretty sure I saw this at some point when I was a kid. There's some scenes that look pretty familiar. But It's pretty cool. I mean, I have to tell you, I was probably most impressed with the font. It looked like furry tarantula legs. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes, we would all download this font. I think we agreed to that
Tarantula
pretty
font.
much right off the bat.
Yes. Yeah. I'd watch it because it's a classic. It's an old movie, 1955, and for its age, I thought it was some pretty good effects. I mean, simple effects, but they used them effectively.
This movie looks so amazing. I cannot wait to see. I mean, the effects really lend to the. I mean, it works with the black and white. You could tell that. I mean, that's what they had to work with of the day, and I think it really works in the black and white. I mean, it's obviously a tarantula, superimposed large over.
Right.
Other smaller scenes or whatever. But in the black and white, it works. And sometimes the tarantula's kind of shadowy.
Yeah.
And it works. It makes it even creepier.
I mean, actually, my favorite effect was the giant eye looking in at the window of the house.
Yeah.
That was not. I mean, I don't.
And of
I
course,
don't think that's what spider eyes look like.
No.
But I don't care.
But the fact that the woman's getting ready for bed,
Of course.
why is it always a woman getting ready for bed? Why would the spider be interested in that? Or
Why would
why
the spider be interested in that?
I mean, or is it just to make a point that she's at her most vulnerable?
I mean, she's not wearing, anything revealing, but it's definitely a vulnerable moment where she's taking her robe off.
Yeah.
And
But
then...
it looked like
Screaming.
she actually got out of the room and the husband got taken by the big mandible.
Maybe,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
hard to
it
say.
I'd
was
watch it.
Cool. I loved how serious it was too. Like the scientists were so worried and so nervous about those crazy. I mean, I loved it. I thought that looked a lot of fun.
Yeah,
This looks like a lot of fun.
Definite foreshadowing, not subtle. But...
No, not
the
subtle.
scientist with the strong chiseled
Right.
jaw,
Yeah.
and then the serious woman assistant scientist in full makeup.
right?
Yeah,
And the
right.
handsome
It's,
scientist.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked the peek at the lab of other giant animals. I mean, I want to see the sequel where the giant gerbil gets out.
Oh yeah. I wonder what that
uses
would
New
be
York
like.
as his chew toy. Ah!
The gerbils of New York.
Yeah,
Ice
this is a
gerbils.
definite C for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I'd
I
watch
think
it.
So.
Well, hey everybody. Today's Dark Arts is spider recipes, and I have to tell you, I'm pretty excited about this one. When I first started researching it a bit, it's kind of disgusting, but after more research, I'm kind of having a hankering for a tarantula leg. So, and then I had a question too, like, well, where do you get the raw ingredients, So I found a couple places you can get canned zebra tarantulas, but they only come one to a can, so I don't know. And it does say it's
the whole thing canned or just the meat?
no, it's the entire zebra tarantula. And it just says on the can that it's delicious dipped in soy or chili sauce. So I'm assuming that they want you to eat it as is. It's kind of dehydrated. So I wouldn't go with that. I would try to find fresh ones. I found this great recipe on Epicurean about fried tarantulas, and they actually look pretty interesting.
Yeah, they look like they're about to walk away, coating and all.
Yeah, with panko. But I mean, they're real simple. You just, I know. So tarantulas have these little hairs, and it's one of their defense mechanisms is they have these little hairs that cause irritation on things that touch them or try to bite them, almost like really fine little cactus hairs. And so you have to get the hairs off of them. I guess you got to scrape them. And one guy's review on eating them said that after you've munched a few, you might find you have a little a hairball in your throat.
Oh.
A spider hairball. I can't even imagine. But
How do you get rid of that? Do you cough it out? Or?
I guess like a cat, So that seemed pretty bad. And then, but so
What
let's
seems
see.
pretty bad?
No, like that's the bad part. The legs are crunchy with little meat. It says the head and body have a delicate white meat taste, like a cross between chicken and cod. But then this other review says, unless you're like really macho and kind of gross, you probably don't want to eat the body because the body is filled with so the large globular abdomen is full of a dark brown paste, and that includes everything from the eggs to the heart and spider excrement. So, I think I would avoid the body, but the head and the legs are supposed to be kind of crunchy, and I keep thinking they're like crab meat, but this says they're taste like chicken.
I remember that in that video we saw where the people were eating from the street market, because in Cambodia and places like that, they eat tarantula there and in the street markets and stuff. And I remember when we were watching that, they took the meat out of the legs. It kind of reminded me of like crab, sort of. But then, the middle part, the body part, was more of a liquidy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it was more soft than the legs were.
Right, kind of gooey, probably like a big oyster or something. But you just dip them in tempura and deep fry them for about a minute and sprinkle a little paprika on there, and they're good to go. But in Cambodia, I read about that, how they've become quite popular, but they haven't always been that way. And it was during, what was it, like during the Cambodian Wars, and there was a lot of famine, and so people had nothing to eat, and they were eating bugs and tarantulas and spiders, but they learned a lot during that time on preparation, and now people go there just to eat these spiders. I mean, they're high protein, low carb, good for you.
Now, didn't we saw something where there was like every year there was a festival when all the tarantulas, after they mate or something like that, there's hundreds of thousands all over the forest floor.
Yeah, and I remember I had talked to you. I told you that when I was a kid, I grew up when I was really little. I was born in Fort Worth, Texas. That's before we moved to El Paso. But I have a very clear memory of being like between 3 and 4 years old and being right next door at my friend's house, and it was getting to be dusk, and I started walking home, and I could see on the streets were just being covered with tarantulas, and I ran home, and by the time I got to the house, I mean, they were covering the streets, the sidewalks. They have these migrations in different parts of the country that it's like just a solid wall of tarantulas. I guess that's the time to go hunting. Maybe if you want to have a business, you better know how to dehydrate them. And I don't know how you keep them on the dehydration screen. They'd be crawling everywhere. Oh my gosh. Woo. So anyway, that's about it. I mean, that's my thing on, there's lots of other things you can eat. And we might be coming to a place in the near future, with the way the world's going. I don't think it's a bad thing to think about other things that we can eat.
I know a lot of people are talking about insect proteins being the next protein.
Yeah, I was looking that up. I mean, that's me. I get researching. I was like looking at there's silkworms, grasshoppers, crickets, caterpillars. I mean, it says here in South Africa, caterpillars are so popular, 9.5 billion of them are harvested a year to eat.
Wow.
For people to eat. So,
man, when I was a kid, I used to call them fuzzies, and I loved them. I used to let them walk all over my arms and stuff. And then, I'm actually allergic to caterpillars, and I would get hives just from their feet touching me. I'd come home covered in hives, and my mom would be like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's going on with you? What are you allergic to?" And I was like, "I have no idea," because I had no idea. And then day she caught me in the backyard with like a bunch of caterpillars walking off. She's like, "What are you doing? Why are you letting this walk all over you?" They're
Well,
fuzzies.
it's a
They're
good
cute.
thing you weren't inclined to eat them. Your throat would have swelled up and we wouldn't be having this conversation. Well, that's my segment on spider recipes. If anybody wants to try one, we're putting the links up on our Facebook page and our show notes. And I'd love your opinion unless you're really mad at me about it. And then you can just keep it to yourself. Well, today on Jackie's Hand of Horror, on our spider edition here, we have our guest, Michelle Nessk. And I chose her for this because when I think of spiders, I'm a very symbolic kind of person. I think of things in symbolism, and all of my art reflects that. And when I think of spiders, I think of the symbolic meaning as storytellers, weavers of the web. And Michelle came to my mind as that kind of person. And then when I talked to her, she revealed things that made me see why I thought that. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. It's so good to have you today. I want to ask you, so first of all, just to make the spider connection, you told me you love spiders.
I do, yes.
And that you had spiders as pets?
Yes. I used to have a Chilean rosehair tarantula. She was very beautiful. They look like, Black Hills Gold, how it has different colors of like oranges and pinks and rose hues, or rose gold,
Mm-hmm.
So they look like that. Their little bristles are very, beautiful and metallic. And if you have one with a good disposition, they stay fuzzy and cute. If you have one with a bad disposition, then they have bald little butts because they kick off their spurs. Yeah, they're kind of like, it's a defense mechanism, kind of like a porcupine. So if a spider is irie or ornery, it'll use its hind legs and kick off its back spurs, and it stings you like stinging nettle.
Wow. Okay. And
Yeah.
how big are they?
Oh, they're just about the palm of your hand, like full grown.
Okay.
Chilean rosehairs don't really get very big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I love spiders too, and I love tarantulas. I never had one as a pet. I had a 6-foot boa constrictor, but never a spider. But that's so cool. But I don't want to spend a lot of time on spiders with you because you have so many interesting things that you do. And like I said, I think of you as weaving a web because tell us, you just tell us, what are all the many things that you do? And you don't even have to go in order, just go with what you want to tell us.
Okay. Well, I own Gloomy Sunday Productions, and it's a production company. Most of our work is in charity films and commercial, with various pieces and music videos as well. I am the creator and host of Horrors of the PNW, and that's an annual showcase that we premiere every year at Crypticon, and we are actually moving into another area where we will have a special series in Portland with Horror Heals. And we are also moving into another segment where Horrors of the PNW is actually going to be a series available via streaming. It'll be going into distribution.
Wow.
So it'll be a lot like the ABC's, not exactly, but, anthologies.
Yes.
The ABCs of horror, yeah, that kind of thing. We've been around for, as far as Horrors of the PNW, we've been around for 6 years. And the horror host persona that I play is Z Monsta, and she can only communicate in silent film format when she's horror hosting, which is fun.
Wow, that's interesting. That's really unique, and so this will be a Crypticon for one place, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be doing a panel for Horror of the PNW, and you have to participate. I'm really excited.
Oh, so excited to have you on. You and Tanya Atomic and a couple of other people will be there representing for Just a Prick, because that actually will be in this year's Horrors of the PNW.
Tell us about the blood drive.
Just a Prick was made for the massive blood drive PSA held by the Siska Twins, Twisted Twins Productions, and Women in Horror Month. This was their 9th year. Tanya Atomic and I were lucky enough to be able to be a part of the project, and we collaborated on Just a Prick. We got to have James Grixoni from the new Twin Peaks series. He played Deputy Jesse. We got to have you in it. We got to have Tristan Rizk, and that was amazing. And our lead actor in it, who played Christopher James Phillips, is actually the lead guitarist for the band My Life with the Thrill Kill Cold.
So that's all for blood drive and your short film. Yeah, because the Soska sisters, you said, it's their 9th year doing this?
Yes, it's their 9th year, and the way that they do it is everybody creates a film, and one film is presented per day in February, and it's to commemorate Women in Horror Month and to hopefully motivate people to go and donate blood because it's a precious resource.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to be part of that. You guys being on your set, even for, that short time that I was that day, was just so much fun. The way you and Tanya worked together, and everybody that was there. It was a real pleasure.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And you're just one of those people. You do so many things. So you do film, you write, you do music, photography. Yeah, well, tell us.
I also do set design. I do screenwriting as well as story writing, like novels. And I make and design wardrobe, jewelry, cosmetics, and I do special effects, makeup, and prop building.
Wow.
And editing. I do a lot of editing. It's like the least glamorous out of any job title, but it's what gets the job done.
Doing what now?
Film editing and audio editing. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay the bills too, while you're having fun. But your photography, I love your creativity, your, you go with like history. You do things that are dark and spooky, but sexy and.
Thank you. It's my photography, and I pride myself as a photographer. I like to get the shot in the camera. So I will shoot in advanced mode, black and white, if the image is black and white. I don't like to edit my photos if it can be helped.
Yeah. And film and photography. And then, so at Crypticon, I met you the first time at Living Dead. And
yes, that was my first celebrity guest appearance.
Oh, ever. It was.
Like I had been, I was all like super green. I was like, I don't even know who I am. It was so much fun. They were so good to me.
And then last year, right, at Crypticon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. You got me and our Monos Returns production team in a hotel room.
I got all of you in my bed.
Yes, you did. You got a photograph of it because you're a photographer.
Yep. That's right. I'm going to use that to.
That was really fun. And we're going to see you again this Crypticon.
Horrors of the PNW this year will be Saturday night at Crypticon. We're really, really excited about it. It's our 5th year. We'll be featuring Just a Prick as a segment in it. It's just we've come a long way, because 6 years of filming and 5 years of presenting at Crypticon in particular has there's been a lot of growth, which is wonderful, and a lot of the same filmmakers who were there that we presented in year 1 are presenting again, and so their work has always been great, but we get to see, how far they've come since we've produced their first works and whatnot. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's these groups, these communities grow together.
Yes, exactly. I just basically, I want to see all of my friends and cohorts, the people who I admire, I just want to see everybody succeed beyond their wildest dreams.
Yeah.
So, and being a producer is great, and having an outlet like ours at the PNW is even more amazing because I can utilize that and be like, oh, you want to make a movie? You don't know how to finish your script? Well, here, we have these script writers who will happily help you, and I help out as well. And then we pull together the production, and then we make their film, and it's cool because some of these people never thought that they'd have the chance to do that. And it feels really good because I remember when filmmaking for me was a pipe dream, and I always kind of, wondered what it would be like to be able to help other people, and now I get to do that.
Yeah. So what Horrors of the PNW really is, it's a collaboration then, an opportunity for people to network.
Yes, it is.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for networking. It's, a great spot for growth, and where, a lot of people have the aspiration to make a film and they've got their camera. And of course, like any filmmaker, I agree, take your camera, go out in your backyard, try your best, learn, and grow from there. But if you can find a production company that will gladly take you on, teach you how to do things, and help you see this come to fruition, take that opportunity. Yeah. We also look at works that have already been filmed to be featured, which is, so it's not strictly, we pick one filmmaker, one aspiring filmmaker a year, because it does cost, money and time and everything. So we pick one filmmaker a year who is aspiring to make a film short, and we pull all of our resources in and we pour them into that one person, so they can make that film, their dream short, or, their sizzle. And then the rest of the stuff that we featured is usually 2 Gloomy Sunday Productions original pieces. And then other film works that either we were part of in some form as producers, associate producers, and then there's filmmaker submissions. We tend to cover the gamut, trying to reach every type of filmmaker out there who's trying to get exposure.
Wow. That's really great. And so where can people, well, you're going to give me links and things that I can put on the Facebook page, Jackie's Hand of Horror Facebook page, for people to link to you and Gloomy Sunday Productions and the Horrors of the PNW and all that. What else are you doing? I mean, what other projects or, that you have done? What are the things that let's talk about music.
I'm a classically trained vocalist. I was taught how to sing in opera and classic R&B, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. I don't really get to use those very often, but when I do, it's always a blast. There's my band, Anu, A-N-U. We perform at various festivals and live events. And, my partner in the band is actually, his name is Nathaniel Marshall, and he is incredible. He doesn't always get to travel, so sometimes if it's out-of-state stuff, I will travel in the name of Anu and put on a cappella performances. Sorry. So I just got back from California, performing at Louder Than Wolves, which was an incredible event. And it was a charity event where we raised, some money for a women's safe shelter.
Oh, good. For a women's shelter. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff I do is it's charity oriented. I look my work to be able to make a difference in the world, as best I can.
Yes.
Yeah, which is kind of hard to do if you make horror, but there's a few people who have found ways to go about it, like the people who want to, give whilst creating. Like the Sokas have the blood drive, and so on and so forth. So I find I like to help out various charity efforts as best I can.
Yeah. Well, I have found through all of these connections with people as I get into the horror community more, which is interesting because I was never a big horror fan, and yet that seems to be the world that I have become immersed in. But what I've learned is people that are creating horror film and going in these directions, writers, they're really empathic, sensitive people. And I have to wonder if a lot of what they're doing is just their own processing of whatever their childhood fears are. But I find them to be just such loving, giving, fun people, so it doesn't surprise me at all to see horror used as a way for charity and to raise money for good things.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's especially in the face of the stigma of you're a stereotypical horror fan,
Yes.
It's very much a very contrary reality to what people are led to believe.
Yeah, no, that's true. And now so many more women in horror. It's been growing for a while, but I think with all these more recent events, the Me Too movement, we're going to see a whole lot more women coming out and doing what's always been in their hearts, but they just didn't know how to get themselves out there. And
or they were being held down and couldn't get out.
that's right, in one way or another, whether it was by someone else or their own self-imposed limitations. But now with so many wonderful role models stepping up to show what's possible, it's really exciting. We're in some exciting times, and I love to see the women's viewpoint in horror film because there are some differences, and it's frightening to say the least.
We do. Well, for me, I am non-binary, but I am female presenting for whatever that means. That's how the world perceives me, and that's how the world treats me, if that makes sense. So the experience there, yes, and so it's like
Yeah.
It is an experience that is very unique. I was actually discussing recently the difference between like if a man is patted on the butt or if a woman is patted on the butt. A man is patted on the butt, that was rude.
Yeah. Well, I think women in horror and women in these different fields that were traditionally male dominated just kind of evens the playing field. It just gives us all an opportunity for growth and just a greater pool of creativity. It's so exciting because it's not just about men or women, it's people working together. When I go on these, like on your shoot for Just a Prick, and yesterday I was filming with Tanya for her new film, and just people in film, the way their focus and the way that people team up and they work together, and no matter how many hours you're on it, nobody's complaining. It's pretty just remarkable and a very unique environment.
There's nothing quite like it. That's definitely, yeah. It's my favorite. It's kind of, it turns into a horror story summer camp, And then when it's over and everybody's like, oh, okay, it was nice to meet you, But I feel like there's always, like, no matter what set you're on, if it's a good harmonious set, there's a part of you that doesn't really leave the set, and that's like why you'll see that continuous camaraderie between people who work together on said sets.
Yes, they continue on and they go into new projects and new collaborations, and the creativity just goes on and spreads out like a spider web. How'd you like that segue?
Oh,
Back to
very
the
nice.
spider. Yeah, very nice. Oh, so is there anything else that you want to talk about today? Is there any other projects
Oh,
or
yes.
things, anything about?
Well, I have Tanya Atomic and I are working on a full feature with each other. We started kicking around some aspects of it last year. I will be a celebrity guest or special guest. I really hate saying celebrity. I'm a tiny little bug, so it feels, I don't know, inappropriate to call myself that. So can I just say special guest from now on? And so I'll be at Sinister Creature Con this June. I will be there with the writer Chris O'Connor, and I am so excited about that. We'll be live streaming our trip down, driving from Washington State, and we'll be live streaming from our trip up back to Washington. This is my first time ever doing that. I don't really do the live stream thing. Let's face it, this is Washington State. The reality is I'm a pot-smoking goofball creative, and so the idea of live streaming just as much as interviews, I don't know if I'm going to say something regretful. I don't even know if I regret saying I smoke pot.
Well, pretty common nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm very excited about it, and just to be able to have something to commemorate the trip with Crystal. She was a comrade of, Comrades in Horror for The Bloodshed, which is a horror publication that I own for the month of February. Yep, for the month of February. And so she's actually writing a horror-oriented children's book called My First Nightmare. And I strongly recommend checking it out. It is just so cute and sweet and creepy.
Okay, can you give me a link to that?
Absolutely, I can. It's about to come out. She's been sharing a lot of sneak stuff with the artistic renderings. It's so exciting.
Very cool.
I also have a documentary coming out that I did in collaboration with Sacramento Horror Film Festival. And the documentary is Louder Than Wolves, taking a stand against rape culture. Different artists, performance artists, and filmmakers will be contributing to this piece, and that will be released by next year. And we're hoping to have it out by October of this year, but we shall see how it goes in post-production. And I also have another full feature coming up where I actually play a lounge singer.
Oh.
And I'm very excited about that. And my short published story, Devil's Habit, is being pushed into a novel, and I will have that finished and published by the end of this year. And it's going to be a full feature film. It's an experimental horror art piece built upon nunsploitation. It was first published, 6 years ago. So I'm very excited to be, pushing forward with it. No.
Yes, you are busy. You got a lot going on, girl. Wow. Well, I'm very excited about seeing you at Crypticon. I'm sorry, I cut you off. What else?
I know, I'm sorry. I'm doing the special effects, and I'm helping with the beauty makeup aspect, but mostly I'm doing the special effects for the movie that you were in that Tanya Atomic is doing.
Yes. Yeah, the one that I was working on yesterday with them. Yeah. How great. So hoping to see you while I was up there, but it was a long day, and we just couldn't be on set at the same time, but I'm so excited you're working on that.
Heck yeah. I'm super excited about it. When I am there, we should go get ramen.
I would love that. Well, I'm going to see you
Yes.
really soon, in just a few weeks, actually, up
Yep.
in Seattle. And we'll find some time. I'll see you at your panel. You'll come to Monos Returns premiere, and we're just going to enjoy ourselves, right? And we're both going to probably be doing a lot of recording of all kinds of things.
Oh, so much. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be a blast.
Yes, it will. It was such a pleasure talking to you today, and we will see each other in person very, very soon.
Thank you for having me. I always love talking to you.
Yeah, love talking to you too. Hi, this is our segment on things that we love, our ring finger segment. And today we're talking about spiders. I know a lot of people don't love spiders, but I love this segment so much. I love it so much, I'd keep them in a cage. How about you, Tanya?
I love this segment mildly. I might kidnap it, but I think I would eventually let it go.
Oh, okay. Huh. All right. So you'd be kind of kind to it just because it kind of creeps you out to keep it around, maybe.
Well, the thing is, I have a fascination with spiders, and I do like them, but I also don't want them to touch me. I have an aversion to the spider's touch.
I see. Well, that makes sense. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've always kind of had a love of all kinds of creatures, but I know my parents told me the story of when I was really small. I was just terrified of everything, like everything, an ant, a mouse, everything. So they set out to get me over my fear of living things that weren't human, and they got me all kinds of pets. I had mice, I had a guinea pig, I had a snake,
Oh, wow.
and in the front yard there in Fort Worth, Texas, there was a trapdoor spider that I had discovered under a tree. And I remember I'd go out there early in the mornings in the summer, and I'd lay on my belly as a 3-year-old and just wiggle the ground, make a little stick move or something to try to get him to open up his little door and look at me. I could see his little speckly, his little shiny eyes, but I didn't realize till many, many years later when I saw a picture of one just how hideous looking they were.
So it would pop out, and you would only see a little tiny bit, and you were like, "Oh, cute!"
Yeah, well, yeah, because the little door would pop up. He'd open because he lives underground. He'd pop his little earth door open and look, and be like, "Ah, shit, it's you again,"
Food.
Yeah, you're not food. Yeah. But yeah, so we were looking at spiders. I just saw an article about a fossilized spider. Well, it's not real. They say it's an arachnid, but it looks more like like a scorpion.
Oh, the prehistoric animal that's trapped in the amber.
Yeah.
It's got a long body like a scorpion, but yeah, I guess it's an arachnid.
Yeah, it got fangs and pinchers, and I mean, it's not very big. It's from about 100 million years ago in Southeast Asia, the Cretaceous period, but they really don't know what it is. But the closest thing they can find is spiders because it's got a rear end that produced silk, but it also has a tail.
Oh.
But there's a creature a lot like that lives today and in different parts of the world. But in El Paso, Texas, where we moved when I was 6, right before Manos, the Hands of Fate, they had these creatures there called vinegar runes. We call them vinegar roans, but they're the strangest looking creature, and they average like 3 to 4 inches long. They're big. And they're black usually, or dark brown. And they have a body that kind of reminds you of a scorpion. They have a tail. It looks like an antenna. It's not a stinger on the end of their tail. It looks like a little dune buggy antenna. And then on the front, they have pinchers that looks like lobster claws. And they got, what, 6 or 8? I think they have 8 legs, and they're just hideous looking, but they don't hurt you.
Do they never sting or pinch or
I
anything
guess
like
they
that?
could pinch you, but they're not known for that. And they don't have any poison, but what they do is when they're feel threatened, they spray out a mist that smells very strong like vinegar. It smells just like vinegar. And so when they do that with creatures trying to eat them, I guess it just repels them unless the creature's like a salad eater and has a little oiled edge, oil and vinegar, and it might be good. But they're just hideous looking, and you just learn right away you don't walk around barefoot outside, not because it's going to hurt you, but because a lot of other things would hurt you.
Wow. So when you came across them, did you ever like get too close and you didn't know and they sprayed you?
No, probably. You learn right away. I mean, especially when you grow up in an environment like that, you really get wise to just the way if you grow up where skunks live, you're not likely to get sprayed by a skunk because you know where not to go, or how far away to stand, that sort of thing. Yeah. But, and then there's others. What was that one we were looking at? The peacock spiders.
That one's a cute one.
God, it was adorable.
Yeah, he has all the colors on him, and then he like pushes up. He pushes up his colors and does a little dance.
A little fan dance. Cute. And only the males do that. But they're teeny, teeny, tiny. They're less than a 1/4 inch to even smaller. So if you happen to see, you'd be lucky to even see it. It would look like a little speckle of, I don't know, but it does look like peacock feathers.
Mm-hmm. Very colorful. Very
and they're
cute.
a type of jumping spiders, so they have this amazing dance. And if you look up peacock spiders, and again, we'll provide some links, but there's so many different YouTube videos that people have put their mating ritual to music that you just can't help but laugh out loud.
I've always liked jumping spiders. I always thought they were really cute when I was little because they just hop around. So, they look like they're so harmless and adorable.
Yeah, there's cute spiders out there. I think even for people that are afraid of that sort of thing, and even if that terrifies them, they can rest easy that if they're living in the United States where we're broadcasting from, then chances are extremely rare they're going to run into one because they don't live here at all. And that's it on spiders. That's what I got. Well, thanks for listening, and let's move on. Well, hi. Today's episode is spiders, as we know, and we have Aradia here for our Pinky section. Hi, Aradia. Hi. So let's talk spiders for a few minutes, honey. Are you the kind of person who stomps on the spider when you see it, or do you find one in the house and you try to find a way to get it out?
I'm not that kind of person. I just live. My brother Jace is the one who likes stomping them and killing them.
Oh, so do you try to protect the spiders that he's going after?
Yes.
Oh, good. You're like me. I like to kind of get him out of the house and find him another place to live.
I like them just living here.
Oh, do you? You don't mind them being in the house at all?
Yeah, because I think they're natural. Sometimes people don't like them because they are predators. They like poisoning to protect. One time I saw, because we have 2 house spiders.
Yeah.
That are nice, that live in the bathroom downstairs. They live in the bathroom. And I saw one of them eating some an insect.
And that's a good thing because they eat things that we don't want in the house. Other bugs.
Yeah, like flies.
Like flies. Exactly. I don't mind having spiders around.
Yeah. They're not are they natural predators though?
Sure they are. Yeah. Yeah, I mean even daddy longlegs, they can't bite you, but they have quite a bit of poison. But their mouths aren't big enough to bite you, so they can't.
Yeah, that's why they're the nicest spider.
Well, as far as humans go, we don't have to worry about them, huh?
Getting on you? No.
No.
Trying to bite you? No. Anything else? No.
There's all kinds of spiders. There's like big giant ones, right?
Oh, like tarantulas?
Exactly. Have you ever seen one?
No.
No? I used to have one.
Really?
Yeah, for a little while.
What was her name? Or his?
You know what? I can't remember. It was so long ago, I'm not even sure I named it. But when I was really little in Fort Worth, Texas, there were tarantulas everywhere. And sometimes, on occasion, they would just erupt, like thousands of them on the street. I remember as a 4-year-old seeing the whole street covered in tarantulas one night.
What happened to your pet tarantula?
I don't remember. Gosh, I think I gave him away. I really don't remember. That's not very good. Not to remember what you did with a pet. Oops. Bad, Grandma. Bad.
Oh, one time I saw a show of 72 dangerous animals.
Yeah.
And there's a spider, and I think it was just saying, "Pick me up, please, pick me up," and kept waving its hands in the air.
Oh, really?
So I thought it was like trying to say, "Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up," and that's all. And
Oh, that's all?
where do lions live?
Lions, Africa? Is that where the spider came from?
I think so.
Well, if you find a video of it, then I'll put it on the Facebook page for the podcast, okay? Because I like to share stuff like that.
It was like, "Hey, pick me up, please. Pick me up. Pick me up. Pick me up, please." Like waving its hands in the air saying, "Pick me up."
Well, then you find that video because I want to share it on the Facebook page, okay?
It was actually on Netflix.
Oh, well, maybe you can help me find it and then I can share a link or something for people, okay?
Okay.
Because that sounds funny. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come to your house and show you.
That sounds good.
In your room, if you have TV.
Well, we got to get together soon because I miss you.
But you're in California, huh?
Well, I'll see you soon. Yeah. I love you.
Love you too.
We'll talk next time, okay?
On
Jackie's Hand of Horror.
Yay!
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Jackie's Hand of Horror. For links and more information on the fun and sometimes horrible things we discuss, please visit us on Facebook at Jackie's Hand of Horror, and that's Jackey with an EY. Thanks again for listening today, and special thanks to the great people who come together to make this podcast possible. My co-host, Tanya Atomic and Rachel Jackson, and also Greg Talley, Ron McAdams, Natalie Ryan, and the rest of the crew at the Revival League podcast. Join us again in 2 weeks for another fun podcast.